Let's back up on a cue and the music.
And right, just
It may have been the biggest armored car robbery in history. 5 months later, the alleged bandit runs out of road and luck.
5 at Q.
Go.
A powerful cocktail and a toast to science. Brave volunteers down a few doses of E. coli.
Ooh.
With its handlers in Pittsburgh, a wandering robot goes through its paces in South America. Move over, Rover. After Mars, here comes the moon.
And it's off. Go. Go. Go.
Hello, Linden Souls at CNN Center in Atlanta.
And I'm Jeanne Meserve. Welcome to Prime News Saturday.
Senator Linden, take.
We are just learning now, just into CNN. Apparently, Princess Diana has been in a serious road accident in Paris. The wire services right now, the Reuters news agency, as well as Agence France Presse, are both saying that she has been seriously injured. Agence France Presse is saying that one other person has been killed. It is now 2 in the morning local time in Paris, so it is very difficult, as you can understand, to try and get confirmation or further information about the incident. But we have our international desk here at CNN, as well as our other resources chasing down the story for you. Again, both the Reuters news agency, quoting police officials, as well as Agence France Presse, telling us that Princess Diana has been seriously injured in a car accident in Paris. One of the news agencies is saying one other person may have been killed, but so far that person has not been identified, and there has been no additional information provided as yet. We are going to stay on top of the story and try to bring you as much information as we can learn in the next half hour or so. As you may recall, Princess Diana has been back on the front of the tabloids trumpeting her supposed romance with Dodi Al-Fayed, the son of Mohammed Al-Fayed, the owner of Harrods in England. She had been in France last week, apparently with Fayed. They were holidaying in Saint-Tropez. Again, there is no confirmation as yet that we've been able to get out of Buckingham Palace in London, but we are checking with the agencies and the embassies in both Britain and France. We're getting an update now that the Reuters news agency is saying that Dodi Al-Fayed has been killed in that car crash. Apparently, they are getting their information from French police. We have no information thus far of whereabouts in Paris the accident occurred. As I mentioned, they are 6 hours ahead of Eastern Time. It is now 6 a.m., or 2 a.m. rather, in the morning Paris time, early Sunday morning. Princess Diana, apparently in the company of Dodi Al-Fayed, the son of the powerful and wealthy London businessman who took over control of Harrods department store in London. The wire services are both saying that Princess Diana has been seriously injured, but we are not getting any more information at this time as to how serious her injuries may have been. The fact that Dodi Fayed has been pronounced dead will give you some indication of the seriousness of this accident. Again, because of the early morning hours, it's very difficult to get additional information, but we're doing our best for you. We are putting all of our resources together for this, and as soon as we have more information, we will bring it to you, so please stay with CNN for the very latest on this breaking story. Princess Diana seriously injured in a car accident in Paris. Dodi Al-Fayed killed in that accident. Jeanne?
Go.
The man suspected of carrying out the biggest armored car robbery in history is in police custody, but it's still not clear if any of the stolen millions has been recovered. Philip Johnson was apprehended by U.S. Customs officers at a border crossing in Brownsville, Texas. On March 29, he allegedly kidnapped 2 fellow armored car workers in Jacksonville, Florida, and made off with $22 million.
No, that's my soundbite. Where's your soundbite?
Johnson was an amateur, grabbed within days, but Saturday, 5 full months later, his run came to an end.
Roll 8 track, dissolve.
Today at approximately 8 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Philip Noel Johnson was taken into custody in Brownsville, Texas for armed robbery and abduction that occurred in Loomis, Fargo on March 29, 1997. On this date, Philip Johnson attempted to cross the United States-Mexican border. He was traveling on a bus. He was stopped by the U.S. Customs Service for a routine check. As a result of the check, Johnson was questioned and asked for identification. Johnson presented identification in the name of Roger Lauder, which was an alias that was known to be used.
Hey, we're not going to trot in a bunch of people at 10 o'clock.
The name checked by the customs agent revealed that it was in fact Philip Johnson. Johnson was taken into custody, and the FBI office in Brownsville, Texas was notified. At this time, the investigation is continuing and information is limited. The arrest of Johnson occurred without incident. He did not resist.
Thank you.
Check, go.
Johnson will appear in federal district court Tuesday. He faces charges of armed robbery, kidnapping, and interstate flight to avoid prosecution. Joining us now on the phone from Jacksonville, Florida, with more details on the arrest is FBI spokesman Bill Cheek. Mr. Cheek, thanks for joining us. First of all, was it pure luck that Mr. Johnson was caught on the border, or were authorities looking for him there?
We had received information from the America's Most Wanted show that he had been seen in the Brownsville, Houston, Texas area. So we've concentrated a lot of our efforts in the Rio Grande Valley.
Show me 17 in that.
It was a thorough, routine type of check that Customs makes, and they resulted in the arrest of Johnson.
My understanding is that he was on a bus that was entering the U.S. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Why would he have been coming back into this country if he had escaped the U.S.?
I don't know the answer to that.
Could he have been coming back for some of the money?
I don't know.
Was he carrying any of the money?
Again, that's something I don't know either.
Has he been questioned about the money, to your knowledge?
That certainly would be part of what we would be interested in talking to him about, but
get that tabloid stuff and everything else.
As you mentioned, he has been on the run for 5 months. Why was he able to elude authorities for such a long time?
Diana story, Tim.
What's that?
That's not
You're going to recap?
time in terms of our fugitive
investigation.
He's going to recap and then he's going to toss the break.
Linden's going to recap.
Right,
after A2.
Locate
Give me that
people that are on the run.
tabloid BO that you had.
Bill Cheek of the FBI, thanks so much for joining us this evening.
Take one.
Take. Good.
Just to update those of you who may be joining us, as we mentioned just a few moments ago, we have confirmation that Princess Diana has been seriously injured in a car accident somewhere in Paris.
No, I really did.
Her companion, Dodi Al-Fayed, the 42-year-old son of the owner of Harrods department store in London, was apparently killed in the crash. Reuters news agency has confirmed that with French police. We have a similar report from Agence France Presse, and we have our own correspondents and bureaus here at CNN now getting on top of the story. It is just after 2 a.m. local time in Paris, going into Sunday morning. So as you can imagine, information sources are going to be very scarce at that hour, but we are doing our best. We are going to stay with the story as the evening unfolds, and we will bring the very latest to you. For now, we're going to take a short break, and we'll be back with more of Prime News right after this. Please stay with us.
It is always not about shop. Roll, answer. How y'all doing?
All right.
Now, what's that?
Hundreds of the world's leading companies share one professional services firm. Coincidence?
Jeanne reads A2.
We think not.
So go ahead, Doug.
For professional services, the answer is Deloitte & Touche.
A2, A3, B1.
Never thought.
A2, A3, B1.
I don't have
Figured I'd know when the time was right.
Do you have that script?
36 years.
I don't have B1 either.
Started on DC
I do
6s.
not have the B1 script.
Pretty much everything you needed to work on
A2, Jeanne reads,
you found in the
A3,
toolbox.
Linden reads, B1. After
Today, we use ultrasounds to check for microscopic voids. Use X-rays.
Go ahead,
that. All right, we'll do it. I need a bump from you there. Oh, well. Can
Magnetic
you put a bump
imaging.
shot on your other map?
Yeah, the tools have
Chip,
changed,
put
but the job really hasn't.
30, would you?
Ask anybody out here.
Good, so we'll come
They'll
up
tell
on
you.
12, and then Jeanne
We're
will
not
box
just
you, give me
responsible
R17.
for these planes.
All right, your A2
We're responsible for the people who get on them as well.
That's in 7.
Linden reads B1.
That's the way it's always been.
And A3. Okay,
No, Jeanne reads.
I'm proud to say for the past 36 years,
Linden reads A3.
I've been a small part of that.
Okay.
Linden reads B1.
Anyone know the proper method of purchasing school supplies?
You got a bump
Anyone?
on 30,
The
Tim?
answer is
Yeah, it sure did. I see
efficient.
you're-
Anyone know the name of the
Tim got a little
economics
move
genius
on.
responsible for this ideology?
674.
Anyone?
8.
His name is Matt.
Okay, so I molded a few minds. Thanks to Office Max, your back-to-school headquarters. Over 7,000 items at guaranteed low prices, so you'll never have to shop around.
It's very
Stand by
exciting.
your...
Bring it down a
Move
notch,
on,
will you,
Sky
pal?
Cam.
Office Max, we go to the max.
And start to move on Skycam.
How about it? Stand by, Jeanne, round 16.
Stand by. Dissolve. Go.
On this Labor Day weekend in the United States, some members of organized labor are
Stand
about
by
to
your
ask for
sound.
help from former President Jimmy Carter. James P. Hoffa says he wants Mr. Carter to monitor voting in the election of a Teamsters Union president. Hoffa is challenging Ron Kerry for the Teamsters top spot.
Evans and
He says
Novak,
he has
James
no
P.
confidence
Hoffa.
in the court-appointed official who oversaw the last election.
Roll 7, track, take.
created a climate of lawlessness during the election. She let Ron Kerry get away with, abusing the union publications, publishing, just traveling all over the country. We filed numerous protests, and I believe that the fact that she was so lax in the election, that she led to a climate of recklessness, that now what do we have? We have a widespread embezzlement by the Ron Kerry campaign, because I think they thought they could get away with it. They thought they could get away with it, and it was only when we filed the protest, we found the $95,000 check that she had to kind of fess up finally. And I put a lot of blame on her for not reining in Ron Kerry campaign that ran amok.
Tracker, go.
For more of the interview with James Hoffa, tune in to CNN's Evans and Novak Sunday at 10 a.m. Eastern. Labor Secretary Alexis Herman and Vice President Ron Kerry will be guests on CNN's Late Edition Sunday at noon Eastern.
Thank you.
Monday's Labor Day observance in the U.S. will have special meaning for part of the workforce. For America's lowest paid workers, the federal minimum wage goes up 40 cents to $5.15 an hour. The second phase of a minimum wage hike follows a 50-cent an hour increase last fall. Critics caution the robust economy may be delaying an economic backlash triggered by the hike. President Clinton took time from his vacation on Martha's Vineyard Saturday to focus on the quality of U.S. schools. In his weekly radio address, Mr. Clinton renewed his call for national testing of U.S. students to measure their progress in math and reading. Mr. Clinton says he is willing to compromise with critics who view it as unwarranted meddling from Washington.
Some people worry that the federal government will play too large a role in developing the test. To meet that concern, I have instructed my staff to rewrite our proposal to make sure these tests are developed not by the Department of Education, but by an independent, bipartisan board created by Congress many years ago. This will make sure these tests measure what they should, nothing more, nothing less.
In the Republican response, Pennsylvania Congressman Bill Goodwin criticized the president's assertion that performance tests help raise education standards. He says that's, quote, akin to claiming that better speedometers make
A7 next.
End quote.
Thank you.
Go.
A U.S. envoy is one of the Meserve hardliners who stop inciting violence or face, quote, the most serious consequences imaginable. Robert Gelbart delivered the blunt message before meeting with Bosnian Serb President Biljana Plavsic, the chief rival of Serb wartime leader Radovan Karadzic. Plavsic supports the Dayton Peace Accords and is backed by the U.S. and other Western countries. Gelbart accuses Karadzic's hardline supporters of instigating violence against NATO peacekeepers this week.
By 31 seconds. Allowed to go on is the out cue. Those are fine. Jeanne will have a tag.
And then Jeanne reads E6.
Fritz convictions inciting mob violence and are clearly people who feel threatened by the possibility of pluralist democracy.
Okay, 10 seconds.
As a result, they are resorting to the worst kind of fascist totalitarian behavior.
Stand by.
Team for a tag, then Linden does A6.
This will not be allowed to go on.
Thank you.
One of Karadzic's top aides says there is no solution in threats.
Linden next.
A political and diplomatic solution.
Thank you.
Take them.
Just before we get into our next report, we want to remind you that we are continuing to observe the developments out of Paris, where Princess Diana has been seriously injured in a car accident. Her companion, Dodi Al-Fayed, apparently has been killed. We are trying to get further information through our Paris bureau, as well as Buckingham Palace and the French and British embassies in both Paris and London. And we're going to take a short break, and then we'll come back with more information for you.
And is all. Roll, Master.
All right, now what?
Oppenheimer Funds is like a great basketball team. A bunch of talented people working together.
Okay,
in this case, for my benefit.
Good question.
Oppenheimer Funds. The right way to invest.
All right. Ace.
We're asking baseball fans to try Wheaties, the breakfast of champions.
Tastes great.
Crunchy. I eat it because I like the taste of it. Got a nice flavor to it. I just go for the taste.
I'll do another bump.
Try the championship taste of Wheaties.
Okay.
Very much Wheaties.
Zoom out on Skycam.
In furniture design, you have to stay connected to the world.
Furniture is an extension of the people who sit on it.
So I use podcast. I get personalized world and business news broadcast straight to my screen of the internet. And occasionally, a little inspiration.
A6 and C2.
Hey, honey! This new fish tank here is just wonderful.
There's a new world of
commerce forming on the internet. Leading banks all over the world are playing their part. Every major credit card is there. Thousands of merchants, millions of consumers, and one company is bringing them all together, providing end-to-end secure financial transactions, making global business on the web a reality. Cybercash, the way to make internet commerce pay.
Linden?
Scented panty liner's just mask odor, but All Days from Always can actually help absorb it. Their unique odor-absorbing core and dry weave top sheet pull moisture and odor inside. Always odor-absorbing panty liners. Don't just mask odor, control it.
Never mind your bump.
I don't know what's up with the market, but I do know I've got a long-term strategy. And so does my mutual fund company.
Oppenheimer Funds, the right way to invest.
Okay.
News, sports, and weather. Get it all at CNN.com.
And music up on this. And by Linden on 2 for 16. Push on 2.
As we promised, whatever bits of information we are able to glean out of Paris this evening in the wake of a car crash that has seriously injured Princess Diana, the Princess of Wales, and apparently killed her companion, Dodi Al-Fayed. We will bring you whenever we can. We are just learning now that apparently the crash apparently occurred in a tunnel along the Seine River at the Pont d'Alma Bridge. We are told paparazzi on motorcycles were apparently following along the princess's car. We are also told that a security guard from a local hotel was with them as well, and he apparently was also killed, according to one wire report. We will try to confirm that for you, but please stay with CNN as we continue to bring you developments of this breaking story. Princess Diana seriously injured in a car accident in Paris. Jeanne?
Go.
E. coli is part of the planned menu for a group of volunteers in California this weekend. They're drinking special cocktails mixed up by researchers at Stanford University. CNN's Rusty Dornan reports more on what scientists hope to learn.
Shaken, not stirred. This cocktail could pack a powerful wallop.
Did you want will toss the fire?
How about a shot of E. coli? Volunteers in a study at Stanford University Medical Center are drinking an E. coli concoction that may or may not make them sick.
Our bacteria is a little bit on the wimpy side, and we want to give it every chance
zoom in a little on
that we can to get to know you a little better.
E. coli conjures up images of contaminated hamburger meat, the kind that can make people violently and sometimes fatally ill. But there are several different strains of E. coli. In this study, researchers are testing a distant cousin of the deadly variety, altering the bacteria genetically.
It's just a few bad players that are out there that cause the disease, but we're very, very interested in trying to find out the process by which they do cause that disease.
Yeah, we got you, buddy.
Not saltier. It's like brine.
Volunteers have a 50-50 chance of getting diarrhea, depending on the strain and their own reaction.
We're looking for intestinal gurgling or intestinal cramps and headache and nausea.
I'm kind of a gambling guy. I grew up in Nevada, so I'm willing to take my chances that I'll get the one that doesn't cause diarrhea.
Oh, this is where we'd like you to deposit your samples.
A heck of a way to spend the holiday. 4 days of wait and see. If they feel like eating, there's always checking out what's on the hospital menu, reading or watching TV. And then there's always hope for the bigger picture.
Hopefully, this will eliminate that any fatalities that would occur in E. coli ingestion.
But for others, the good of humanity may not be at the top of the "why did I do this" list.
The main reason just is a chance to get some extra money.
You get that little balloon.
A contaminated concoction designed to bring better understanding of a sometimes deadly bacteria. Rusty Dornan, CNN, San Francisco.
Track team, go.
If you have plans this holiday weekend, you'll want to know the weather. So here's Byron Miranda to tell you. Byron?
Jeanne, basically what you see
Take
behind
away,
me right
Byron.
now
Do
is
about a half hour.
what you'll see in the southeast over Monday through Sunday. Monday, hidden with showers along the coast.
C3 next, right? Linden?
See the unstable atmosphere and thunder showers from Georgia back to Louisiana, up through the Midwest. This rain will disappear within the next 24 hours as it pushes towards the northeast. The eastern seaboard nice and quiet in New York, Philadelphia, and Boston. You should be quiet all the way through Labor Day. Southwest showers occurring here right now. No news there. That's the monsoon. That's the same old stuff. Quiet in the Pacific Northwest, down in the Southwest. Let's go. I'll be back in 30 seconds. Forecast.
We're all master. Fade on down.
If he doesn't.
Sunday, on the next impact. 25 years after one of the world's worst acts of terrorism, families of the athletes are still seeking justice.
I wanted to know why he was killed. Who was responsible? Why didn't they rescue all these Israelis?
Plus, child abuse. New findings suggest pain and neglect may actually short-circuit the child's brain.
There are deficits that can never be overcome.
On the weekly news magazine Impact, Sunday, 9 Eastern on CNN.
Through Sunday evening, this is where it's going to be wet. And now back to you.
Oh, somebody Linden.
Thank you very much. We've heard a lot recently about NASA's Sojourner rover, which travels on Martian soil. Did you know there's another planetary rover waiting in the wings? In our Tomorrow Today report, CNN's Ann Kellen tells us how a vehicle called Nomad is going through its paces on an earthbound moonscape.
Right, try to wipe it.
Straight to break, right?
On Earth. That's what the robot Nomad is getting in the Rocky Desert in Atacama, Chile. Nomad is a prototype of the robots that will explore the surface of the moon and other planets of the solar system in the near future. For now, it's rolling on the sandy South American landscape, showing off its technological prowess.
Linden's doing
Nomad
C4
carries
and then the
state-of-the-art
break.
equipment for mobility, imaging, and space communications. Nomad is controlled from Carnegie Mellon University in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, more than 5,000 miles away.
Jeanne,
Engineers at Mission Control guide it with the help of a 360-degree panoramic view taken by the Nomad's camera. Alex Fossil and 8 other specialists from Carnegie Mellon came to the Atacama Desert to test Nomad's ability to share its experiences.
The images are compressed and sent through satellite links, in this case to Santiago and Pittsburgh. People can explore the terrain and feel like they are practically in the middle of the desert.
And Nomad can take care of itself in hostile environments. Engineers have given the robot something akin to an immune system. It allows Nomad to ignore human commands that threaten its safety. Mark Malmone designed the system.
Nomad has many cameras on it, and 6 of the cameras on Nomad are used by a navigation system. So these cameras work, they take a new picture each second, and there's a computer inside Nomad that processes it. And the images are processed, and Nomad can see where there are obstacles in front of it, and it will automatically steer around the obstacle.
And more of
Besides being smart,
him with his
Nomad
former
is
love
heavy duty.
seven.
Our baseline for this type of robot is something like 1 or 2 year mission. What we'd like to do is have it on the moon and visit all the different sites that Apollo has landed on the moon.
Eric Rollins designed the mechanical systems for the Nomad. When he turns 31, he'll be able to see the robot in action on the moon. That's about 3 years away. A great birthday present he'll share with millions.
What's next?
He's going to break.
Ann Kellen, CNN reporting.
Thank you.
And we have this viewing note for you. For more stories from the world of high-tech, North American viewers can tune into CNN Science and Technology Week. That's Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. And we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we will bring you the very latest information coming out of Paris tonight. Apparently a serious car crash injuring Diana, the Princess of Wales, and killing her companion, Dodi Al Fayed. We'll be right back.
Princess Diane. You did?
Oh, Master.
Tomorrow Today appears on CNN Science and Technology Week, sponsored by IBM. Solutions for a small planet.
Let's check this beeper out.
Still won't print? Still won't print.
It won't print.
Jiggle the cable. I jiggle. I'll jiggle again.
That's the light.
That's the light?
That's the light.
Give me a bump
It
shot
won't
on
print.
camera 1.
Won't print. What's the problem with the printer?
Yes, it is, sir.
Can you print? Go ahead and
It's not the printer. It's the computers. Have you downloaded a virus on the web. That's the joke.
What, your robo guy's not even in the room with you?
IBM protects your network.
What, they got him down the street or something?
Pretty much.
A lot of people my age set off on cruises around the world. Now I set off on a second career.
So we're doing a
Of course,
beeper
my
next.
Twitter broker's impeccable investment advice prepared me for any sort of retirement I
Get your
chose.
Diana file
And I chose to start over, a business of my own.
That die tape you had earlier.
That's an 8.
That's my idea of a fascinating.
Everything loaded is die stuff.
At Deanwood,
That's cool, B.
we measure success one investor at a time.
Fisher stuff in 7.
Okay.
That's Dodie stuff in 7, actually.
Today,
None of these
there are
stories
more than 14 million places throughout the world where you can buy almost anything without cash, without checks, because today there are better ways to pay. gold cards, platinum cards, debit cards, and corporate cards from MasterCard. MasterCard, the future of money.
30 seconds. You got it. We got it.
I am the first solar-powered woman, charged, converting light to power and performance. Consistent, only interrupted by brief moments of spontaneous combustion.
No, it's 10 o'clock.
Discus athletic, compete on every field.
And up on the music, stand by Linden on 2. And push on 2. Dissolve.
Those nice cameras they have.
It is now 25 minutes past 2 o'clock in the morning at Paris time, where CNN's Jim Bitterman is now joining us by telephone to bring us more information about reports of Princess Diana being seriously injured in a car accident and her companion Dodi Al-Fayed being killed in that mishap. Jim, what can you tell us so far to either confirm or give us any corrections on the information we've been presenting so far?
Well, Linden, the reports are still sketchy at this time, but what we're hearing is that Princess Diana was severely injured in that crash, and according to some reports that Dodi Al-Fayed, the Egyptian playboy with whom she's been keeping company lately, was killed in the crash. Now, I must emphasize that these are just reports coming in at this time, and nothing has been confirmed for certain.
This is only 15 seconds to 5, right?
In a tunnel along the river Seine in the heart of Paris, near the Alma Bridge. There are high-speed traffic lanes along the Seine at that point, and apparently the car in which Princess Diana was riding, at least reportedly riding, was being followed by paparazzi on a motorcycle, apparently, and they may have contributed to the crash.
Was the car traveling on its own, or did it have an escort, Jim?
Apparently was on its own. There were 4 people in the car. We believe that 1 or 2 of the people in the car were killed. Princess Diana, according to reports we have, was seriously injured in that crash.
All right, we are getting some reports that the other person who was killed was a driver, apparently a security officer from the Ritz Hotel. Have you been able to get any confirmation of that at your end?
No indication of that, and no confirmation absolutely that it was Dodi Al-Fayed, but in fact that's what we are hearing, is that Dodi Al-Fayed, the Egyptian playboy in Herod's era,
So at least Jeanne is reading
killed in that
first when they
crash.
get by,
The Egyptian playboy with whom Princess Diana has been seeing a lot lately, apparently was in the car, and like I say, there may have been paparazzi involved, tracking the car, trying to take pictures, and that may have contributed to the crash in the tunnel.
We understand that the crash apparently took place shortly after midnight local time. Can you give us a sense of how heavy or light the traffic would have been at that hour in that particular section of Paris?
Well, on a Saturday night, it would have been fairly light
Jim,
at that
can you
time.
speculate wildly about anything at all?
Along the Seine. It's a very quick way to get into the heart of Paris and out of the heart of Paris, and of course, during commuting hours, they're packed with traffic, but at that time of night, traffic would have been very light. Now, one thing I should say is that there is no barrier between the incoming traffic and the outgoing traffic, which is to say that if a car were to go out of control in a tunnel, it would be very difficult to bring it back under control without perhaps going into the oncoming lanes.
All right, just very quickly, no word of the extent of the princess's injuries?
Not at all. We just have heard that she has been seriously injured in that crash.
All right, CNN's Jim Bitterman in Paris, thank you very much. We will continue to follow this story for you. Jeanne?
And that's all for this edition of Prime News. I'm Jeanne Meserve in Washington.
And I'm Linden Souls in Atlanta. Thank you for being with us.
And dissolve.
Okay, that's it.
Roll, Master.
Okay, Timmy.
All right, Timmy.
See you at 10, bud.
Tonight on CNN's Larry King Weekend, Steven Seagal talks about his new movie, Fire Down Below. Tonight, 9 Eastern on CNN.
The news came out that morning. I must have tried my broker 3 times.
Hi, your call is important.
Now the clock's ticking, the market's open, and the stock I wanted is on fire. Maybe somebody made some money, but it wasn't me.
At Schwab, you can get the team of experts you need, whenever you need them, and still save on commissions. Call 1-800-4-SCHWAB now.
I come across this German software firm, but I'm shooting blind. I've got a stale quote, no research, and my broker's dark for another 10 hours. Sure, they'll get me stuff in the morning, exactly 43 minutes before Frankfurt closes.
Schwab is open all night for quotes, research, and news. Is your broker? Call 1-800-4-SCHWAB now.
Why do I feel like I'm 2 steps behind the game?
Please leave your name and number.
Maybe somebody made some money, but it wasn't me.
I'll get you in.
Don't wait to get the edge you need. Call now for your free Standard & Poor's stock screens and get trading the way it should be.
This is CNN.
And roll 10, try to get up on it. 5 minutes on 2 today.
This is CNN Breaking News.
Push on 2, dissolve, Q.
Hello, I'm Linden Souls in Atlanta. We are continuing to follow developments out of Paris, where Princess Diana has been seriously injured in a car accident. Her companion, Dodi Al-Fayed, apparently killed, and also there have been other injuries in that crash. CNN's Jim Bitterman is on the telephone line from Paris right now, where it's 2:30 in the morning. Jim, what's the latest you can tell us?
Well, Linden, as you mentioned, the reports are still sketchy at this time, but apparently Princess Diana was seriously injured in that crash, which took place in a tunnel along the River Seine. This is a tunnel along the high-speed lanes that go to the very heart of Paris. The crash took place sometime after midnight. There may have been paparazzi involved in the crash. Photographers tracking the princess, apparently, according to some reports, were on a motorcycle, and that somehow may have contributed to the crash. We are hearing at least reports that Dodi Al-Fayed, the Egyptian playboy with whom Princess Diana had been keeping company lately, was killed in that crash.
Jim, do we know how difficult the circumstances would have been to extract the victims in this crash from the area, seeing that it occurred in that tunnel along the Seine River?
Well, this would have been one tunnel of a series of tunnels along the river. These are not very long tunnels. They would be probably 500 meters long at the maximum. There are a number of tunnels along the way, and these are tunnels where there is no separation, no barrier between the incoming and the outgoing traffic, which is to say that any accident within one of these tunnels could be very serious because a car could go from one lane into the oncoming lanes and could contribute to the force of the accident.
Has there been any word which hospital the princess has been taken to and the extent of her injuries?
We have no word at this time, but the police are saying that she was seriously injured.
All right, CNN's Jim Bitterman in Paris. We'll continue to follow developments from that end. We're going now to CNN's Eileen O'Connor, who is traveling with President Clinton on Martha's Vineyard, where the president is vacationing. Eileen, what have you been able to hear from your end?
Well, Linden, the president and Mrs. Clinton were informed by a military aide here in Martha's Vineyard. They're at a clam bake tonight. You know that the president is on vacation here in Martha's Vineyard. He expressed great concern. He asked his White House counsel on aid, Bruce Lindsay, to find out the latest information. Of course, the Princess of Wales, Princess Diana, is very much a favorite at the White House. She danced at the White House once before, and so obviously she is very much a favorite with the American administration, and so he expressed great concern. Linden?
Eileen, did the president have any information through White House intelligence sources as to the extent of the princess's injuries at this time?
Absolutely none at all, Linden. Only being informed by the military aid. Again, the information is basically coming from the news reports that we all have.
All right, CNN's Eileen O'Connor, thank you very much. We'll come back to you if developments
so you got your closing
warrant.
10?
We are going to continue to follow the story. We will break into existing programming when we have new information to bring you. So please stay with CNN for the very latest. For now, I'm Linden Souls in Atlanta. We're going to join CNN Sports Illustrated in progress.
Roll 10, tractors off. Open with it, I got to close with it. Roll, master. I go to SI. Been all day.